Good morning, y'all. I thought I'd give you a perspective for what all I'm trying to do here. Now, this here that you're seeing is from Champions Online. That's the first game that me and my family started playing back when we took in two teenage boys. One of which was really into the superhero thing. So we put a lot of money into it, and we really got into it. Helped them connect better with each other, helped them connect better with their mother, who was in drug rehab for a time. And so this gave us a way to bond together, off a line and online, both, because it had something that we could all talk about. But as you can see, there's really not much to it. It's a straightforward game. You go around, fly around the city, you take care of good deeds, very linear storyline. Nothing changes. And so, really, in the end, it's just a giant, what they call massive multiplayer online role playing game with not much role playing involved, not much game involved. Definitely not what you would call a perpetual universe, something that changes depending on what you do. It changes based on what everyone else does in the entire universe, and that just it doesn't do it for me. Now, as you can see, everything is based on currency. With the perfect world, everything is based around what they call Zen, and you can buy that online. You can buy as much as you want. You can trade it for what they call in this game questionite, in order to buy things that in the end really don't give anybody too much of an advantage per se. It's just more of a, hey, look how much I spent look that really gets into. Now, like a lot of other games, you can also modify things. You can build things. What they call it here is modify. It's kind of like putting magic on your weapons and stuff. Really, it doesn't do all that much. Again, it's another excuse to spend a whole lot of money trying to get things really going. There's nothing to it. It does not change the economy. It does not change the world. It does not change your game function. It does not change the storyline. Nothing. It doesn't change anything. And so, in the end, you're spending your time. You're spinning your wheels, really doing all of that stuff. And of course, every once in a while they have a special. Like right now, it's their big anniversary of Champions Online. And so they're doing this huge celebration. You can get gifts, which pretty much boil down to temporary things that hardly anyone will use, really. They're trying very hard to bring players back, in fact, into Champions Online. And in the end, all it is like a lot of other massive online role-playing games, it's all about attacking things and making a name for yourself as someone who can really do a lot in battle. And that's about it. That's the whole nutshell. Now, that being said, my favorite game actually out of Perfect World is Star Trek Online. It's been around for quite a while now. It's getting ready to celebrate, along with the rest of the Star Trek franchise, on the 50th anniversary of the original series. And overall, it's not horrible. It's not canon. In other words, it's not part of the original universe. It's not part of the J.J. Abrams universe. It just sort of stands alone. So in that sense, it's a little strange because you get to fly around in ships that are not part of the Federation. You can also play Klingon, and also again play flying ships that are not part of the Klingon Empire either, or the Romulan Empire. If you're playing a Romulan, you can do all kinds of things like that. You notice also there's what are called loading screens. Now, this is very common to MMOs, is the loading screen, because they have separate servers in order to split up the gameplay, in order to split up the number of people in any one spot so that their servers don't bog down. They haven't figured out a way to keep the servers from bogging down. And once, of course, you're in a particular location, there's only going to be a certain set number. I believe it's like 30 or something on STO that people can load up onto a particular place. So if you're looking for a particular friend, you would have to find an instance, is what they call it, a server, with a limited amount of people on it so that you can actually have your friend come on and help you out in that sense. But again, there's no change in the economy. There's no change in the universe, really, per se. The storyline changes in a very linear fashion based on what the writers come up with, and that's pretty much it. So then, what is a perpetual universe? Well, best way to describe it is probably to go back to a podcast done by Chris Roberts, the head of Cloud Imperium Games, who was creating Star Citizen, about the economy for Star Citizen. Now, everything has to move around. In other words, in order to build that ship, you have to supply a factory with enough materials to be able to build something, obviously. This is a concept that is not unknown to other games. However, it doesn't normally affect how the entire universe around that game works. In this case, it does. Will a colony thrive or will it fail? Based on its economy. You see my point. It's sort of a real-life scenario, right? So let's say a factory needs all of these materials, and it needs them right away in order to fulfill another contract for a military contract. So it sends out a call to contract with traders like myself to bring in those materials. Now, these can be players, and these can be computer-driven freighters as well. Either way, what if those freighters got attacked, say, by pirates, or were somehow blocked, say, from one of the jump points not corresponding to the correct solar system, or something of that nature? Any number of reasons. What if that material never made it to the factory? Well, it's simple as that. The factory does not produce, fails in that contract, does not make that profit. That's going to affect everyone who works at that factory, which is going to affect everyone who is selling goods to those people who work at that factory, and so on. It's just like real life. That's a perpetual universe. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see everything from large-scale universal storms to alien invasions to war shifting of battlegrounds and things like that. Things that would normally be seen. We may even see viruses and bacteria. Who knows? That's just the fun part about it. In that sense, I'm seeing Star Citizen as being a possible educational game. Not really in the form of giving to kids a formal education in sciences or math or anything like that. But there are several aspects about it that really do resemble real life. Everything from how to repair a ship using welding techniques that look very much like real welding techniques, to using a telescope, to using a microscope, things of that nature. And that can really open up some family game time that is experiential for everyone. Well, I do appreciate everyone showing up and taking a look at my first podcast for this series. This is going to be the first podcast for the Star Citizen and Perpetual Universe series of podcasts. We will also be adding on podcasts about offline fun for families. And as well, tune in on Sunday. I fully intend to create a podcast sermon, first of many, I hope, that will get people interested in thinking about the deeper meanings of life. In the meantime, if you'd like to see more of this action, please, first of all, make a comment down there. You see it on the bottom. Make a comment, question anything, say something. But most importantly, be involved. There's also a link to Patreon. I would really appreciate, even if it's just $1 a month, just to keep up with all the expenses of trying to do this on my own. Most of the money that I get that's for profit specifically is actually going to my daughter's college fund. So that's what I'm doing this for. I greatly appreciate all of you. God bless, and keep on trucking. Now what's that breaker? Well, if it isn't the Mr. Sergeant. Where are you headed now? Oh no, the boys aren't doing like you'd hoped. They'll survive though. Y'all just keep on keeping on. And don't get lost in the darkness, you hear?